can't tell me where fi do, where fi go, how fi dress. Me no papi show. Me a the star, so me a no fan of you. Do me wanna follow you. Me nah itch up under no man arm like Roland. Boss position, so no boy can't try program me. Rebel from day one. Real bad girl, so no boy can't try program me. Me no need donation. Autonomous, can't try come program me.
Thank you for tuning back into another episode. I say thank you for tuning back into another episode with Kicking In with E. Kicking In with E. Good morning, guys. How you guys are doing today? So today, guys, before we get into the video, as you guys can see at the title of this video, it may get emotional a little bit. It may not. I'm gonna try to keep my composure and myself together. But before we get into the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell every time E posts the video. You did. Now let's get into the video. As you guys can see by the title of this video, we are doing a breakfast mukbang, little mukbang, and we are discussing something that's very important to me and something that I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys. If you guys can't really see by my shirt, so the month of September is PCOS Awareness Month, and I'm sorry, let me show you guys my breakfast. So your girl got a good old shrimp and grits over here. I was supposed to record when I was currently making my breakfast, but unfortunately I forgot because I was like multitasking. So yeah, it's about to be good. But yeah, so basically I'm sharing my story. Like I said, for the month of September, it's PCOS Awareness Month. If you guys don't know, PCOS is Polycystic Ovary Syndrome. I know you guys are like, okay, what the hell is that? Basically, it's 1 out of 4 women in the United States, or 1 out of 4 women in general, are diagnosed with PCOS. Unfortunately, my PCOS situation started my senior year of high school. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take you guys on a little story time along with me while we're eating breakfast. So let me eat for a minute and then I'll get to talking. But y'all let me know if y'all feeling my new intro, y'all. My new intro. You see I done switching it up for y'all, giving y'all some good little vibes. But like I said, I'm trying to like put out more content. I'm trying to record more. I'm trying to do more. And also at the end of the video, I have like a couple things to talk to you guys about. Sorry, y'all know I always get like off track, talking about random stuff. Girl, y'all understand what I'm saying. Okay. Because I feel like if I don't talk about it, I'm just keep eating. That was a big shrimp. Okay. So I was officially diagnosed with PCOS 2 years ago. Now, I never knew what PCOS was. I don't have anyone in my family that has PCOS, so I just had to do like a lot of research. So basically, my senior year of high school, my ex at the time, or my boyfriend at the time, shall I say, obviously, you know, just a TMI, we were having, you know, situations, and unfortunately after one situation came, I thought like, okay, I'm pregnant. February of senior year, like, I didn't see my period, so I'm like, okay, you're dead. Like, you're pregnant, and you're in high school, like your dad's gonna kill you, your parents are gonna kill you. Like, that was my thing. So we went to, like, I took pregnancy tests, they came out negative, but months are going by and I'm not seeing my cycle. So I'm like, okay, like, these tests are playing with me. Like, there's no way that I've gotten my cycle my entire life since I've got it, and come senior year, that incident takes place and I'm not seeing my cycle. It's really, really weird. So of course he's not freaking out, because he's like, all right, you know, we've been rocking for like 8 years at this point. Like, if it happens, it happens. I'm just like, no, like, my parents is gonna kill me. What do you mean? It's my senior year. Like, I'm not prepared for this. Obviously we were safe, so it was just like a little weird. So we went to 1 or 2 doctor's appointments together, and then I started to go to my doctor's appointments by myself, because I'm like, okay, I really need to see what's going on. So my stepmom told me that she kind of knew something was up, because our cycle was like around the same month type of thing. Like, if her cycle was to go off, mine was to come on, or if mine, and I just always like, you need, you know, telling them I need pads, or I need to re-up on pads, or whatever the case may be, is because if she goes to BJ's, she knows to get the big box, because obviously her and I are the only 2 that have periods coming on. My little sisters were obviously little, so they didn't have any cycles at the time. So she noticed that I wasn't asking for cycles. I mean, she noticed that I wasn't asking for pads anymore. And I was trying to keep it a secret, because I was still freaking out, not knowing, like, you know, why my period's not coming on, and I'm not feeling any changes. Like, there's nothing going on. Like, I'm not having no pregnancy symptoms. So, like, I'm like, okay, cool. You don't got a period. Like, okay, lit. Like, you lit. Like, don't worry about it. You can go to bed, you know, no problem. But then it started to worry me, because I'm like, okay, you need a cycle, because your cycle is supposed to clean you out. So, okay, you need to say something. So obviously I told my stepmom, and then she's just like, yeah, I knew something was up. And then she told my dad, because obviously, if you guys don't know me personally, you guys wouldn't know. Growing up, my dad terrified me, like, scared me. I was so afraid to, even when I did get up in age to even start dating, I was still kind of scared to date, because my dad just didn't play the radio. Like, he still don't, and I'm a whole adult, but he just didn't play the radio. So I had to tell my stepmom so she can tell my dad, and then obviously we set up the doctor's appointments of what I needed to actually, like, go and see. So my first time actually going to do a ultrasound, a vaginal ultrasound, and the regular ultrasound, I was still a senior in high school, but it was like a couple months before graduation. And I don't think I've ever told none of my friends at the time any of this. I didn't tell none of them this, and if I did, I probably don't remember. But I don't think even still today, like, when we text each other or see each other on social media, no one really knows besides, like, my close family. So went to do the vaginal ultrasound, and I went to do the regular ultrasound as well. So I did that, did blood work. Everything came back fine. Like, fine. They didn't see anything. So it got to a point where doctors was like, well, if your period's not coming, or if your period's not on, don't worry about it. Like, they were like, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. So I'm just like, no, you need a period. Like, there's no way that you telling me don't worry about it. Like, you need a period. I'm not understanding. So honestly, I couldn't do anything about it. Like, I didn't know what to do. Like, if the doctors are telling me that I'm fine, like, everything in my body is fine, like, I didn't know what to do. Now, growing up in middle school, like, I've noticed that I used to get facial hair a little bit, but I never paid it attention. Like, I never thought it was normal. I never thought it wasn't normal. I just didn't pay attention. Like, I just used to pluck it. And as I started to get older, going into high school, like, it kind of turned a little bad, but I started to shave it. So once again, still never thought nothing over it. Still never, you know, like, I just went about my little teenage life or whatever. So after I did the vaginal ultrasound and all of that, okay, boom, it's a year after high school, and I still don't have a period. So I'm like, okay, what the heck is going on? Like, I still don't have a period. So a year after high school, I'm, you know, just living my little best life. I'm traveling, I'm working, and I'm like, okay, let me make a doctor's appointment. So I make a doctor's appointment, and they're like, okay, well, we don't know why you're not getting your periods, but we can give you birth control so your periods can come. So me at the time not knowing really much about birth controls, because again, when I was a teenager, I wasn't sexually active. So there was no need for me at the time, or even a year after high school, to be on birth control, because I just assumed everybody that was on birth control was sexually active. I didn't know what birth controls was. Like, I was a child that went from my friends starting in middle school, having kids, going up into high school. Like, I didn't know what birth control was. I didn't know. Like, my mama, she had a talk about the birds and the bees, and so did my stepmama about with me, but I was, like I said, I wasn't sexually active for them to be like, okay, in the next doctor's appointment, we get you on birth control. Like, I didn't have to worry about that. So when the doctor was like, okay, well, birth control can give you a period back. So I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm just going whatever solution. I'm going with every solution they're throwing out to me for me to see my period. So I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all about to give me birth control that's gonna see my period? All right, bet. The doctor was like, yeah, you're gonna see your period. You're gonna, you know, clean yourself out. Because that was my main important thing. Me seeing my period, so I know that I'm cleansing myself from the outside. I mean, from the inside to the outside. That's why I was like worried about getting my period. So maybe 2 months, not even a month being on the birth control, I noticed I started to eat more. I started to eat more, crave food more. I was sleeping less. I did get my period within that month, but I didn't like the side effects of it. So I stopped taking birth control. And if anybody know me from high school, I wasn't the skinniest girl, but I was, you know, thick with a slim waist. Like, my waist wasn't that big how it is now. So birth control, number one, that blew me up. So on top of me stop taking birth control, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So then obviously after that, a couple of months after that, you know, I'm talking to a guy, and, you know, it's becoming a little serious. So we like, okay, cool, boom. Kids at the time was not on my mind, because at this point in life, I'm like 19, 20, not really worrying about kids. Like I said, living my best life. So he had a child, but once again, like, we were not talking about kids until probably like the second year of us being together. So I'm like, okay, so we're not using protection, we're trying, and it's not happening. So I'm like, okay, so I need to go back to doing my doctor's appointments for real this time. Like, so I go back. This is year two out of high school. I go back to do the vaginal ultrasound, the normal ultrasound, and blood work. Everything comes back good. Only thing is, this doctor is like, your levels and everything is good, but there's one level that's really, really, really high. And he was looking on my face at the time, like looking at my face to see if he see anything, but at the time I didn't have facial hair that day. So I'm assuming he was trying to look to see if he saw facial hair to diagnose me, but I didn't have facial hair that day, so he didn't mention anything. So once again, I'm leaving out of a practice office. They're saying that I'm good, I'm fine, nothing's wrong with me, right? Okay. This is really crazy, because y'all, this is really like really my life for real. So I'm so mad because my grapes done got cold. But yeah, so leave the doctor's office. And it's crazy. So the time I found out was me and my ex and I at the time were having a situation, and my body didn't react well to him ejaculating inside of me. Let's just say that. Me not ever having that been done before, I'm like, okay, I'm not liking the odor that's coming from down there. I don't like the discharge. Like, I need to figure out what's going on. So I go to a doctor's appointment. He comes with me, and I do swabbing, whatever, and then they did a pap smear for me at the time, because it was my yearly checkup, by the way, too. And then when I got the results back, they were like, oh yeah, it's just an infection. Obviously, male stuff doesn't really flow well with the female. But like I said, me not knowing, hello, like, I'm 2 years out of high school. Like I said, I never had none of my high school relationships. That never happened to me before. We always use protection. So I'm like, okay, cool, bet. So I have to take like 3 pills so the infection could go away. Never had infection a day in my life. Never had to worry about an STD, herpes, none of that. So when it wasn't right down there, she needed to go ASAP because I was worried. So she did a test, and she was just like, hey, let me ask you something. So she was like, are you guys trying? And I'm like, I mean, it's not like it's on a status of trying, but like, yeah, like if it happens, it happens. Then she's just like, okay, you know, do you mind me talking to you, whatever? So yeah, he was in the room, and I'm like, yeah, fine. So she was just like, I want to do a test on you because I believe you have PCOS. And I'm just like, what is that? So she wrote down and told me what PCOS is, and she asked me, do I get facial hair? I said yes. She said, do I get ingrowing hair or a lot of hair like on me? And I'm like, yeah. So my arms, you probably guys can't really see it, it's not a lot, but the screens are growing back because I shaved it like almost a month ago. My arm seems to get hairy a lot. My underarms, no. My legs, yes. And my thighs, those are like the #1 places. And then like literally my chin hair comes in like every 3 to 4 days. And normally you see people that have PCOS, like, I don't know if you guys ever seen anyone or know anyone in your family, like they let it grow out so they can get a wax. Like mine, I have like probably the best PCOS because I only get facial hair and that's it. For one, I can't let that grow out because I'm not a man, and I don't like how it's on my, like, if you guys ever pay attention to my face sometimes, like it looks like, I mean, I think I have a good face routine so you can't really see it, but my facial hair grows like every 3 to 4 days, and I can't let it grow out for a month to get it shaved because it irritates me. I honestly don't know how men have beards because it irritates the crap out of me. Like, I don't like it at all. So whatever, so she tested me for it. She told me I had it. She's like, okay, at the time obviously my weight size wasn't what it is now, so she didn't feel like I needed to be on medication, but I just need to watch what I'm eating, which is good because at the time I was working at a call center, and if I would have ate lunch there, which I think I was working from like 2 to 8, so if I'm going into work and I'm already eating lunch, I'm not going to eat after I get off because I'm eating while I'm at work since I was on a night shift. So after that, I never cared to really discuss it or mention it or nothing. So then it was just like it was like in this blooming situation where I seen like all of my high school friends started to have kids, right? And here's where the tricky part comes. So I seen like all of my high school friends start to have kids or become pregnant, and my younger sister becomes pregnant also. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to have the baby shower, the gender reveal. Like, not thinking in my own mind, just trying to like be excited for everybody else, but at the same time, like, I'm in my corner, like, dang, like, I was trying, or I've been trying and I can't, you know. So having PCOS, I don't have a period every month. And excuse me if I'm all over the place. I'm just trying to give you guys the story from my experience and me remembering. So from senior year, when I didn't have that period, from that February till a year after when I took birth control, that was a year span. So it goes from being on the birth control to not worrying about it at all and waiting another year. So that's 2 years. Okay, 2 years from senior year. So then fast forward up into what I want to say, not last year but the year prior. So we're in 2021. So 2019, me still not seeing the cycle until I went to another doctor. After the first doctor told me that I had it, I went to another doctor a year after that. They verified it again that I had it, did the vaginal ultrasound, did the normal ultrasound, blood work. Okay, boom. So now this time, the third year going on with finding out, the third year going on with the period situation, but the second year of finding out I have PCOS, I go in and they're like, okay, so now this time my weight is a little bigger than what it was last year, because now I'm happy eating. So, you know, when you get in a relationship, they're like, oh, that's happy weight. So now I'm happy eating, if that makes sense. And my weight is a solid weight. Like, it's not going up, it's not going down, it's solid. And I'm like, I'm doing everything possible to lose weight. I'm eating less, I'm working out with him, we went to the gym. Like, what's going on? Like, why am I not dropping? I'm so confused. Why am I not dropping? So they're like, it's gonna be hard, but you just have to pace yourself. And I'm just like, okay, I'm not used to this. Like, I'm used to being able to drop weight or see some results. Like, but again, when you're in high school, you're so active that it's not a mandatory thing in your head. You're spending your whole 4 years of high school on a daily thing that you're doing. So when you get out of high school, you're not doing that no more. So your weight is becoming a problem. Okay, boom. So on that third year, when I go to the doctor, he's like, yeah, okay, so we're gonna put you on metformin, and metformin is gonna help you lose weight. It's gonna help you see your period. So I'm like, okay. So I get on the metformin. I'm on the metformin for like a month or two. The metformin, like, it's helping me dropping weight. I'm working out at the same time. I'm eating correctly at the same time. I'm seeing my cycle. And now the only thing with the metformin and why I had to let it go, the metformin had me using the bathroom, and number 2, constantly. The metformin had me throwing up. And I'm like, okay, if this is what it is for me to get my vitals and everything together, like, I don't want it. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to put myself through this. And then me, I'm Googling online, and then I'm getting to these PCOS chats, and I see someone become pregnant and they're having multiple miscarriages, or they're having stillborns, and they're doing this and they're doing that. That just threw me insane. Like, for someone who don't have no one to talk with it about it besides the doctor, and my family don't understand, because when you see family members, they're like, oh my God, girl, you got so big, you need to lose some weight, or you need to stop eating those burgers. First of all, anybody knows me, I don't even like red meat like that. Like, for me to eat a steak or a burger, that's like a plus. And if I eat that, and you ain't gonna see that in a long time. I'm normally eating seafood or chicken or turkey. So I can't have everybody in my business and be like, okay, well, every time you see somebody, be like, oh, well, I got PCOS. Like, it's just like, you just don't want to throw your business out there like that. So it's just, I just have to laugh it off, if that makes sense, and be like, yeah, I know. But at the same time, it's just like, you don't know what I'm going through, so you can't say that. And that's just something I'm gonna get into within the conversation. So I'm doing metformin, stop the metformin because it's making me have bad side effects. Okay, so boom, we're fast forwarding over to me and my dude at the time. We're really trying, but I know, like, if I'm not having a period, then I'm not ovulating, and if I'm not ovulating, there's no eggs flowing down. So I'm like, listen, I know at the time he wanted another child, so I'm just like, if I can't give you that, like, I would respect, like, you know, if our relationship doesn't work out, like, I get it, like, there's nothing I can do. Like, I can't force you to try to stay with me because I can't give you another child, or, you know, that whole conversation came up. And I never thought in life, like, I'm gonna be so real with you guys, and I'm being so open, I never thought in life that I would be the one experiencing not being able to give birth or birth a child. And I'm not gonna say that as in still now, because I can give you guys a little update on, but I'm just giving you guys a time frame. At the time, I'm like, okay, growing up, I'm the second oldest on my mom's side, but the first girl. And on my dad's side, I'm the first grandchild. So growing up and assisting my mom with my siblings and assisting my dad with my siblings, I'm like, okay, when I have kids one day, like, I'm gonna know what to do, because I done raised all these kids, I done took all the care of these kids, I done babysitted, like, I done did X, Y, and Z. But okay, now I'm going through the trying process of like, damn, like, why is it taking so long for me to get pregnant? Or why is it this? Why is it that? But in reality, like, not knowing why. So we fast forward to him and I having that conversation, and he's just like, I mean, I love you regardless. Obviously, if you can't have kids, we'll just cross that bridge when we get there. Like, that's not what makes a relationship, or, you know. So him and I end up being together for like a good 3 to 4 years or whatever. So fast forward to last year. Okay, boom. So it's year 3. No, it's year 4. Okay, so it's year 4. So last year I was able to find this doctor in Miami, and she did all my tests. She got all my paperwork from when I first got diagnosed to what I've been on to everything. So she's like, listen, this is what we're gonna do. We're about to go ahead and do your yearly physical. We're gonna do the vaginal ultrasound, everything. She took me, gave me so many referrals to all the specialists. So when I got to her, all she did was read me my results and what she's recommended for me to do. So she noticed that I had the facial hair and the growth of my weight and everything. So she's like, we're gonna put you on a low carb diet. And when we do that, you say you don't want metformin, you don't want birth control. Okay, so we're not gonna give you no pills. We're gonna put you on a low carb diet, and we're just gonna go from there. So I'm like, that's it? That's what they could have been telling me. That's it? That's the only thing? So she was just like, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I'm like, okay, low carb diet it is. I'm sorry, guys. Me eating is like kind of out of the question, because like when I have this conversation, for some reason, like, I just can't. Like, my anxiety be all over the place. So she's like, yeah, just a low carb diet. So she placed me on a low carb diet last year. Low carb diet, I started to lose weight. When I moved to Kissimmee 2020, December 2020. Prior to me moving to Kissimmee, I stopped doing the metformin, because we're in the same year. I started doing the metformin, stopped taking the metformin, July of 2020. Moved to Kissimmee December of 2020. Saw my period by itself, no prescriptions, no medications. Saw my cycle February 2021. Also saw my cycle March 2021. Okay, it's coming on by itself. No pills needed, no nothing. Low carb diet, working out. So it came on February, March. Didn't come April, May, June. Came August, and now we're September. So I'm like, okay. And when it came on in August, child. You would have thought I was in a whole labor room. The way your good girl was over here rocking back and forth and going in and out the bathroom from a hot bath or a hot shower. You would have thought, because I didn't know. Y'all think I'm going to be giving too much information. I didn't know when a female is having period cramps, that's 1 centimeter of her having contractions of a labor birth. I never knew that. And obviously I've been a female my whole good 25 years. I never knew that. Never knew that. So when I got it in August, obviously it hasn't been that long since it came on, so it's on for the time frame that it's on. And I'm cramping bad. I'm sick bad. Like I had to miss work because I'm not feeling good. My homegirls wanted to go out. I'm not feeling good. I'm like, listen, when this cycle comes on, it comes on. Like, there's no going around it. But I'm not mad about it. I'm grateful that it's coming on because it needs to come on. Like, you're supposed to have a cycle every month. You're cleaning out your old eggs to get your new eggs so you'll be able to ovulate and conceive. But obviously in my situation, I'm not really worried about that. So before I moved, obviously, like I said, me and my ex at the time were trying, but once we decided to go like our separate ways, I started to see my cycle like out of nowhere. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm like, why am I seeing my cycle now? And I was with that person I wanted to conceive so badly with. He's a great father, great person. But at the same time, you just got to stop questioning God, because if he didn't want me to have a child with that person, then it wasn't meant for me to have a child with that person. So I'm like, okay, cool. So fast forward to 2021, update on my PCOS. So I went to the doctor, possibly, I'm looking at my calendar so I can see on my wall, December 9th. No, I'm tripping. September 9th. Why am I in December? September 9th, I went to the doctor to do, to start my yearly evaluation and do blood work and everything. It's time for my women, checkup. So I do that on that Thursday. That Friday I go to Quest, do all my lab work, my blood work, urine sample, all of that. I went to the doctor yesterday, September 14th, and I did my physical and my yearly pap smear. So when she read me my labs, she's like, you were diagnosed with this? I'm like, yeah. She was just like, I promise you must have a guardian angel over you or something, because she's like, your numbers are so great that any of my other clients that have this condition, like, they're struggling so bad. And I'm like, wow. And I know, like, there's different situations with PCOS. Like, PCOS can turn into fibroids, it can turn into cysts, it can turn into cancer. Like, if you go deep into what PCOS is, it goes into a whole nother medical term. So basically, it's an imbalance in the hormone, and like, basically our hormone level is supposed to be up here, that makes sense, and PCOS patients is like down here. So it's like you're trying to play catch up, and there's an imbalance of your hormones, and for some reason, we don't know why it's happening. is nothing someone can give you. Obviously, it's just something that you're born with. Like I said, no one on my mom or my dad's side has any medical conditions. Thank you, God. So for me to have it, like, it was just weird because like I said, I don't have someone to go to have this conversation with. And when I first found out that I had it, I was in a bad space. I'm not gonna say depression because that's not what I'm gonna put over myself. I was in a bad space. And it's just like, okay, the dude at the time wasn't understanding. He's not used to not knowing someone who can't get pregnant. And like I said, I don't have family member that I could confront with or talk to about it. So it's just like, okay. I just found myself talking to my sister about it and talking to myself about it, pretty much, honestly. And that's what it was. And when him and I, when that split, I went back to my mom's house for a minute, and then my brother's like, come on, you can come to the gym with me, you're gonna work out every day. And I'm just like, it's not a problem. I don't have a problem. It's not I don't have energy or nothing. I don't have a problem getting up and working out. I don't have a problem going to work out. But my brother can work out for a whole hour and sweating like crazy, and I can work out for that same whole hour and I may not be sweating. The most I'm gonna sweat is between my boobs, the back of my hair, and like between my arms. I'm not dripping with sweat. So if you're not sweating, then you're not losing any calories. So I went away for like the whole month of July of 2020, and my brother worked out the whole month of July 2020. And when I got back, obviously I seemed like a new person because he went back down to his high school size. And he's like, see, if you were here, you would have been da-da-da-da. And I'm just like, how many times I have to keep explaining this to you? It's not about me not wanting to work out. I'm working out. I'm not going to lose or see results how you are because it's going to take me longer. I have no control of that. No matter how many medications they give you, how many pills they give you, injections, your body has no control of when it wants you to lose weight. That's why I stick to a low carb. I don't drink soda. I barely drink juice. The most I'm gonna have forever is orange juice, tea, and water. Like, it doesn't matter about what I do. Like, and when I sit and talk about my PCOS, I'm comfortable with talking about it now because my case is way better than other people's cases. Like, you really have people that have bad cases, and my case isn't bad. Like, and even it's still right now to this day, like, yeah, I want to be a mother so bad, but I'm not rushing it because it's not like I'm not able. Like, when I just went, I'm like, doctor, like I said, this is a TMI. I'm like, yo, like, I'm not sexually active at the moment, so I'm trying to figure out, like, why your girl discharging so much, da-da-da-da. And she was just like, well, from your lab results, you're ovulating so much right now. And I'm just like, okay, my boobs have been like sore for the last 2 weeks. So, and I've been trying to figure out why, because my period had just went off. She's like, yeah, like, you're ovulating like crazy. And I'm just like, okay, so 3 years ago, I couldn't ovulate. Or if I wasn't tracking it. But now that I know that I'm ovulating, I'm getting my period, like, obviously everything is in a time frame. Like, so I'm at the moment when I did see high school friends having kids, of course I was sad. Like, of course I was like, damn, like, I bet we're supposed to grow with each other, da-da-da-da. But I'm not forcing it either. Like, whatever God wants for me is going to be for me. Like, and I'm okay with saying that now. Because if I would have been talking about this probably like 2 years ago, I probably would have been that same girl. I would have been sad. I would have been crying about it. Because like I said, I wouldn't have thought this would have happened to me. None of my family members would have never thought this would have happened to me. And speaking on that, so for family members that's going to be watching this video, moving forward, when you see your girl, now that you're educated and I have educated you to the best of my ability, and also, like I said, it's called PCOS. You can Google this or ask anyone that's in the medical field. The next time you guys see me, don't say you need to stop eating a burger. For one, your girl don't eat burgers. Let's just throw that out there. For two, not everybody land on their back just eating, because that's not me. I could go a whole day without eating and still not lose a pound. Like, literally went to the doctor on the 9th, went to the doctor on the 14th. I'm solid. Like, I have no control of this. So, not saying that you guys are doing something hurtful, but like, don't just say the unexpected. I think people just like, that's like if you say a church member like, girl, you got so big, and girl, oh, look at, like, don't stop. Don't say that. I'm just saying. And it's like, it's not saying you guys are doing it intentionally, but you don't know what someone's condition is. Y'all don't know what someone's going through. Thank God I'm a great soldier, and I'm not the type of person that's going to stay home and have anxiety attacks or go into a depression because this is in me or I have it. That's not something I'm going to do. It's not contagious. It's controllable, and I've been controlling it for the last year or two with a very great doctor, a very good nutritionist. Like, we're not about to do none of that. So I'm just saying, like, moving forward, like, maybe you guys should educate yourself just a little bit, because I've had confrontation with certain family members, and it's just always result in a negative way, like, oh, that's why you can't have a baby, or oh, this is why this and this is why that. But that's also why my circle is very small, and I don't conversate with family members, because I could be real ruthless, but we're not gonna get into that. This is a third time with me, but that's a whole another story. But yeah, so I just want you guys to be aware of September is PCOS, and I had this shirt made for me last year. If you got someone that's dealing with PCOS, just, like, you know, check up on them, send them a text and be like, hey, how you doing? Especially for ones that don't have kids, and be like, you know, do something with them, take them out, like, go have lunch, go to dinner, go to the beach, go to the pool, do something. Like I said, thank God I have my circle around me, because I'm never down, like, you know, and things happen, but we have no control of it. This is something we don't have control of, but you have control of how you want to manage your PCOS, and I'm doing a very great job at managing my PCOS. So, like, I ate this. That's not even half. Like, I ate this. I'm probably not even going to eat for the rest of the day. Like, my PCOS is just so under control. And even before then, even before I got diagnosed with PCOS, I didn't even eat like that. Like, so it's just like, dang, like, how can I blow it so bad? But also, if I would have never did the birth control, I feel like, excuse me, I would be smaller than what I am, because the birth control blew me up really bad. So yeah, guys, that was story time with E, and I'm gonna do a couple more story times with you guys, because I'm giving you guys the raw me. I'm just giving it unfiltered, sometimes filtered, just depending on what it is. But yeah, so I hope you guys like this video. If you guys watch this video, drop some green hearts in the comments. I love and appreciate each and every one of you guys. Like and share this video. Like I said, turn on that notification bell so you'll know every time your girl posts this. But we're gonna catch you guys on the next episode. So love, peace, and respect. See you later.
Me down, me a rebel. You can't tell me what fi do, where fi go, how fi dress. Me no papi show. Me a the stars.